I'm Mary Beth Shaw. I wanted to take a minute to talk about 2020. I know it's 2019 and here I am already thinking about next year, but there's a really good reason. It's because I have 2 international trips that I will be going on next year, and I would like to ask you to join me. So let me tell you a little bit about the idea of international travel with a group of like-minded artists. This whole thing sort of scared me for a while because I was kind of like, I don't know what to do, you know, how's it gonna play out and this and that. And I really want to tell you how fantastic it is. I did one trip a long time ago that I organized myself, and while it was good, it was also a different experience because I was organizing every single bit of it myself. So the 2 trips I have going in 2020, we've got other people doing the legwork for us, and that makes it particularly nice. I did a similar trip this past year, or this year, 2019, and with a group called the Blue Walk, and the ladies that run this tour group are so amazing. It was almost like they crawled into my head and found out exactly what I wanted to do and how to meet all my needs as an artist, and they were so accommodating. It was unbelievable. So one of the trips next year is with that group, and it's a trip to the northern parts of Italy, the places I've never been before, like Lake Como and Cinque Terre and Venice, and I'm just thrilled about the idea of this. The other trip is to Ireland, and it's to the Essence of Mulroney, which is a studio that's owned by Laura Murphy. And so I couldn't be more excited about that one too. I'm sort of pinching myself. I think I'm unbelievably grateful for these opportunities, and both of the trips have they've had people register already even before they were really open for registration because people wanted to go. So I would say that if you want to go, you need to get on it because they're going to sell out and it's going to be soon. So let me tell you a little bit about each one and what makes it different, and also talk about some of the common features of the international travel when it's done this way with a guided group. First of all, you would need to buy your own airfare, so you need to get yourself to the location. And then once you're there, almost everything is included. There's some things that aren't included, some meals here and there, and that'll be outlined on each of the websites so you can see specifically what you're getting into. What I found was the level of comfort. I don't know, it was really cool to have somebody, first of all, organizing and making sure that everything was right, because there were things that were complicated that I wouldn't have been able to figure out by myself. And it was really nice to know that somebody else had done that they'd been there before, and that they had all of that covered. That was really a relief for me to find that. The second thing is traveling with like-minded people who also want to make art. We're all like looking at the same stuff. We all like want to do the same things. We want to be out there with our feet on the ground, walking around, getting the experiences, photographing, gathering and hunting for the ingredients that we use in our mixed media. And I mean, it is just a really special experience to be with like-minded people. Both of the trips are going to be small, okay? I can't remember the numbers exactly. Italy is 12 artists, and I think Ireland is maybe 12 to 16. It's actually in a studio, whereas Italy will be moving around to different locations. And the Blue Walk ladies do an amazing job of setting up places for us to make art in each location we visit, and it's super cool. But the thing with traveling with me, what I've done before, and I think worked well, and it really makes the trip especially nice, is I set up a group on Facebook for the trip so that everybody is part of that group and we can all talk among ourselves before we go. I mean, we were talking about clothing, we were talking about art supplies, we were talking about every little detail of what we were bringing so that nobody was really caught by surprise. We all were on the same page right from the get-go, and that was really nice. And I mean, for me, I was always that girl that wasn't picked for the sports teams, right? So I always go through life on the assumption that I'm gonna do something ridiculously stupid, you know. So it was nice to have the opportunity to talk it through in the group before we got there. Supplies, art supplies. I keep it minimal. And that's because I don't want anybody to get hassled coming on an international trip with a lot of obscure art supplies. And I don't want the schlep to be any worse than it needs to be. So that worked out really well for my last trip. The supplies were minimal, and that was good. Also, before the trip, I will do a video for each trip before the trip so that you know exactly what I'm packing. I mean, I hold up the supply and I'm bringing this, I'm bringing this, I'm bringing this, I'm bringing in this container. So there's just no doubt in your mind what's gonna happen. And I even had some, a little teeny weeny bit of pre-work for the last one. Basically, it allowed the students to tear down some papers into a more manageable size for transport. I don't know what else I could tell you. If you're thinking about doing it, just do it. Take the plunge. I mean, it's an amazing experience that will create memories for the rest of your life. I got home from my last trip, I don't know, a couple months ago maybe. I don't even remember, but it's just all the time I think about it. And we still have our Facebook group going and everybody's still talking and sharing things with one another. It's just such a heightened experience to be with wonderful people and be escorted by amazing people that know what they're doing and that have kind of the inside track on stuff. And also what I found was that with the Blue Walk, they have done the trips before and they know all of these little special things about every location that they share, and that felt amazing. I felt like I made new friends in the location. Like I got to meet families and I got so immersed into the culture. It was just even more than I could have dreamed, honestly. And with the Ireland trip, I know it's going to be the same thing because Laura Murphy, who runs it, she lives there, for crying out loud. So this is the kind of thing I like to do. I like travel that's like kind of an immersion experience where you come away and you not only saw some cool stuff, but you made things that will provide you with this special memento and memory for the rest of your lives. Plus, you got to be immersed into a new culture. So I'm gonna link up both of the trips and you can take a look, and I hope one works out for you. I just can't say enough about how travel can expand our minds and enhance our art making experience. It's truly the best thing I've ever done. So won't you come along?